Hey, this is Judge Waits bringing you a look at the new Pick 13 creative class system that Advanced Warfare is going to be utilizing. Now, if you're familiar with Black Ops 2, this is going to look very familiar to you, and I like that. You know, I like that this Call of Duty developer, Sledgehammer, is building on something that worked well in a previous Call of Duty. A lot of times they seem to go in different directions, but this is obviously an upgrade to that Pick 10 system, which I thought was a pretty darn revolutionary, pretty darn good system. It needed a few little tweaks here and there, but you know, as far as a system that works, you know, I think we saw that it worked in Black Ops 2, so I'm excited to see it in this next Call of Duty. Now, it's Pick 13 as opposed to Pick 10. The extra 3 comes from the ability to add score streaks, so we're now going to be able to set up the score streaks with each individual class, which I thought was one of the problems that the Pick 10 system had, so I'm excited to see that. But let's get into that. If you look on the screen and you count out every individual thing that you see, it's going to amount to 11 things, and you see that in that little bar at the top, 11 out of 13, so I can still add 2 more things to this creative class. So we've got the primary, the secondary, we have 2 perks in the perk 1 slot, we've got a perk 2, a perk 3, we've got the EXO ability, the EXO launcher, and 1 score streak. So that adds up to 11 things when you add in the 2 wild cards at the bottom. And we'll talk about each individual thing. So I'm not going to show you everything. You know, you're going to be able to pick out your primary weapons just like before. You got your ARs, your submachine guns, your shotguns, your heavy weapons, your sniper rifles. You're going to have your secondaries, you're going to have pistols, special things. I know you've seen the crossbows in different videos. So you're going to be able to still pick out those things as before and then put attachments on those. Now the gun counts as 1 point and each attachment counts as 1 point. So if you want to add on a red dot, you know, that's going to go towards that 13. So you want to be careful and really balance everything out. Now, the only thing that I saw with the attachments that I wanted to mention is there are going to be your typical things like grip, your stock, and all those things are returning from Black Ops 2, which I really like. I like not having to use perks and everything like that. But, you know, all your typical red dots, your ACOG things and everything are in there. Plus, there's going to be some new things. I saw this parabolic microphone where you can actually pick up people that are using suppressors on your minimap. So I don't know how I feel like that. You know, initially, I am a person that likes to use suppressors, so I don't like the ability for other people to pick me out, so I'm not crazy about that. The only other attachment I thought was different was the tracker scope. If you damage somebody, they're going to show up on your mini map. But other than that, I did not see anything that really stood out to me. Now let's move on to the perks, and I'm not going to give you an in-depth guide on the perks. My man Freak did one of those videos. I have a link for it down in the description of this video. Go check that out. He's got some great insight into the perks, and I really recommend watching that video. But I will say this, I did not see a dead silence. So some of the perks you might be used to are gone, and there's some newer ones over there, like this overcharged perk. Now you can go ahead and just read all those or stop the video. Like I said, I don't want to really go into those. Peripherals, that's the only second tier perk that really stood out to me, and I think you just get a kind of a rectangular minimap instead of a square one. But other than that, you know, a lot of these are probably ones that you recognize. There are some new things here. Toughness, scavenger, blast suppressor, hardwired, hardline for the tier 3 perks. You know, hardwired did get a boost from what it was in previous Call of Duty, so you may want to check out that. And the blast suppressor, obviously that's related to your exosuits. But other than that, you know, those are the perks that you're going to be looking at. Each perk costs 1 point. If you want to use 2 perks in one of those tiers, you're going to have to use a wild card to get that. So 2 perks in 1 tier is going to cost you 3 points because of that wild card. But let's move on to the EXO abilities. This is the one thing in this game that probably causes me the most concern, because it really reminds me of when Halo added in those abilities that you could use. That really got me away from actually playing Halo multiplayer. So a lot of these things too remind me of Titanfall. It's amazing, the ability to cloak and the ability to stim. Stim is different though in this than it is in Titanfall, but still just kind of interesting. I'm also wondering too, because trophy system, all right, what's the difference between having trophy system attached to you and wearing a flak jacket, or the one that lets you move faster? You know, what's the difference between, you know, doing that and using lightweight? I don't know how these are going to play out. If I have on the ability to move faster and lightweight, am I going to be just have the ability to fly around the map? I don't know. You know, I'm really kind of waiting though till I actually play this game to make some predictions or really comment on these abilities. But initially I'm a little bit skeptical about these things. But after the EXO abilities, then we have the EXO launcher. This is kind of like a combination between your lethals and your tactical grenades, because you're going to see frag grenades in here, and you're also going to see EMP grenades. One of the things that really stood out to me is this variable grenade. It's kind of like a smoke grenade, an EMP grenade, and some other grenades are the ability to pick one of those different grenades all rolled into one. Now the downside to using this is you cannot actually activate it manually, where some of these other grenades you can do that. But you're going to see the explosive drone. That kind of reminds me of the IED if you're familiar with ghosts, and all different other things. I like the spiked drone. You're going to be able to throw that at somebody, kind of probably like a throwing knife or a combat axe, and then you're going to have the ability to draw it back. So a lot of interesting options in here with those exo launchers. Can't wait to try some of those out. But let's move on to the score streaks now. On first look at the score streak, there's only 7 of them. I was kind of disappointed with that, because in Black Ops 2 you got a crap load of them. And notice too, there are no like support kill streaks. There are only these kind of attack score streaks, or there's only one category for a score streak. Also, no longer is there specialist. I kind of like removing the specialist, because you do have the ability to set up the extra perks, and you don't have 30 of the perks to choose from. You only have, 15. So I kind of see how they went away from specialists, and I kind of see how they went away from the support kill streaks. But each individual score streak, you have the ability to upgrade 3 times. Now when you do upgrade them 3 times, they are going to cost more to get to. So I like that balance play issue, and I like the ability to customize these. I'm wondering with the UAV, if you look at it in here, it's 400 points, but when you go back to that other screen, it's marked as 700 points. So I'm thinking it's upgraded 3 times. I don't know if the upgrade for the UAV means maybe if you upgrade all 3, it becomes kind of like a VSAT or a Blackbird. But notice the VSAT or the Blackbird is kind of missing. So I'm kind of hoping that upgraded UAV acts in a similar way. But let's move into the actual wild cards. I've kind of already brushed these or talked about these a little bit. You have your gun related ones. You're going to be able to take 2 primary weapons, or add a 3rd attachment to your primary weapon, or a secondary attachment to your secondary, or a 2nd attachment to your secondary. There, I said it right. Or you can take multiple perks per level. Like if I want 2 perk 1s, you take perk 1 greed, and you're going to have the ability to do that. Now doing that though comes at a consequence, because you lose a point by using the wild card. So if you want 2 perk 1s, it's going to cost you 3 points. That's 2 for the actual 2 perks, and then 1 for the wild card. So there's drawbacks and advantages to doing this, but I just love the customization. I loved it back in Black Ops 2, so I'm really looking forward to it in this. But let me know what you guys think about this Pick 13 system. I, for one, am so glad to be able to set up my score streaks with my individual classes. That way, if something's not going right during a game, I can switch to lower ones, or if something's going really right, I can switch to higher ones. Yeah, I just love that. But like I said, let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to have lots of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare videos coming out, and a lot of great content once the game drops. So stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't. But guys, as always, take care and God bless.